Buddy, are you there? Let's see if we got him. Hey. Well, hey guys. Well, I can't. This technology is going beyond me. I cannot figure this out. We are trying to get Buddy in here. He's there. We used to be able to do this. We've done 20 episodes, and I mean, this is sort of what happens when you're using a third party's platform. Is they can just change it at any time, and I just don't even see any way to add anyone in anymore. Hey, Sleuth, how you doing? Welcome back to Reality's Edge with Doc and Buddy. Buddy is over there in his encampment somewhere in the Bronx, and we just can't find a way to get him onto the stream here. And otherwise, we'd be doing it. So, Buddy, we miss you. We want to get you on the stream. I'm in a remote location. I can't believe it even works. I'm powering this from a battery, one of those booster pack batteries used to jumpstart a V8 engine, and that's what's powering me. And so I'm amazed it's even going through. It's a very interesting test. Now, if we could get Buddy on, it'd be even more amazing, but I don't see a way to do it anymore. So if someone knows how to add a second person, I have looked at this for the last half hour, trying to find how you add a second. It used to be like a plus button at the top here, and it would just say add the email address, and Buddy would get an invitation. I don't see how to do it. So hold on. Let me see one more chance to see if I can. Let us do a search. Stream with 2 people on YouTube Live. There's got to be a way to do it. See, live stream with 2 cameras, but we want to have another person. Jeez, this is so retarded. This used to be like so obvious. We've done it on Mysterious Forces Live with Natasha Nix, and we have done this many times, and now it's just... One second here. Buddy, are you there? Too bad. Well, I guess we're going to have to do this another time. Jeez, I'll tell you, all the stats look good here on the stream, and the streaming status. We've got a good connection here online and everything. We just don't know how to. Let me see. How we're doing on power here. We're getting kind of low, guys. I'm afraid we're going to have to cut this off. We're going to be running out of juice here. Too bad. Oh, we're getting some flickering. Here's a thing at the top, ingestion settings. Wow, what is that? It's gotten very complex. Well, let's see. Hold on one second. We're doing this the old-fashioned way. Thank you, Apple. We're FaceTiming Buddy. Buddy, are you there?
Doc, how are you, sir?
Hey, we got him. We got the Budster on.
Is this actually working now?
No, I'm using FaceTime. I'm afraid.
Okay, so we're connected somehow to the general public, though. Is that correct?
We are connected to the general public, and you. I can let me here. Just say something. I'll see if the microphone reacts. Okay.
Okay. Check. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Miss Sausages, get off my lap.
Yeah. Okay. So people. So this is how we're gonna do this. We're gonna have Buddy. We did get connected, but I cannot figure out from this new platform on YouTube Live how you invite other people in. So we've got you. Thanks to Apple, very simple. Facebook, I touch the button and you show up.
Oh, beautiful. Okay.
And this is, people say they hear you. So we got you. So, Buddy, this is going to be our mini version of Reality's Edge. I'm out here on my Sasquatch search in the Northwest in an undisclosed location. We've been attempting to initiate telepathic contact with Sasquatch. We know they've been seen in this area, and that's what I'm doing to Buddy. We haven't heard from you in a long time. What are you up to?
Oh my gosh, I've been involved in a lot of different projects. First of all, I was wrapping up on a project I really can't talk about yet, but It was for a positive outcome and positive cause. But a project I signed an NDA on, so I cannot discuss that. But I just came back from about 14-day road trip that was one of the most extraordinary of my life.
Wow.
It was, wow. Let me take a sip of this Ensure, because I'll need every nutrient to get through this here story. Let me turn the light in here. It might help to see things a little bit. Oh, wow. There we go. A little better?
Yes, we can see you now. Thank you.
This portion of Reality's Edge is brought to you by Ensure Plus. So I went on this road trip with a scientist to go to several different destinations. I had launched on a company, and the company is a science and space company based around intuition. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to be using, and I have been using intuition science for space and science projects. And basically the premise is to help the planet as quickly as possible. So a friend of mine who's a scientist helped me put the company together, and with another scientist I was driving around the country meeting these different groups of people, and at a couple stops it was decided that I was going to be tested by these groups of people.
I see.
So at one stop, and I'll say this is in Huntsville, Alabama, I can say that. I asked the scientist if I could mention the name of the NASA scientists that were there, and I was told no, for several different reasons. One is that we got after what I tell you happened, they gave us a option to pitch some stuff, and we pitched the stuff, and we don't want to shoot ourselves necessarily in the foot, and so this partnering with doesn't want me to do that. Yeah. So anyway, there are NASA people there. There's one of the most premier rocket and some other scientists there, and go into this lab, and they have an electrostatic detector, and it's an old, like the 1950s, and they're like, why don't you make this move? And the first 10 minutes, I couldn't make it move. I tried. There's a little bit of maybe, and then they're started to say, do you want to give it up and go on to something else? I was like, of course I don't want to give up. I'm not giving up. I'm just, starting the connection. I'm just starting the, resonance. And then after about 5 more minutes, it started to move into the negative territory slowly, slowly.
Yeah.
But obviously and definitely moved into the negative territory, rolled into the negative. So was able to do that, which was pretty cool. It stopped, and then we were like, wow, is it really doing what we think it was? Came back to it again, and yes, it was. Continued to, and then they had this shielded compass thing, and there's a video I put up on the Alien Protocol site that shows one of the outtakes from this shielded compass.
Right. We saw that. That was your YouTube video. Fascinating.
Yeah, and I've been able to do it with a few different compasses now, and a few different compasses in there. One, like a big brass, it looked really just like a shipping compass, with the ball on the top. So the conclusion is pretty firm, though. It's not an electromagnetic effect. I'm not doing electromagnetism. I'm not making myself magnetic. I still strongly believe it's a psychokinetic force. They tried to detect my hands and stuff, and there's nothing. So anyway, that was an amazing event. And the NASA guy was really kind of contacted us and said, hey, I've got some ideas that intuition might help and might be good for your new company that you're doing. And so pitched some ideas for that. There's some interest in a couple of those, so that's wonderful. Anyway, on the way leaving that amazing day, where we're on this huge high, I have one of the most amazing UFO sightings of my life, driving in the truck with a scientist. And he even got a large portion of the event on his phone. This was, Doc, I don't know how to explain this kind of event. This is the kind of event that we talk about.
Yeah.
This kind of event that we do, we interview other people about. The kind of event that I read in other books as like a kid from the 1950s. This is such a major incident that we had. It was so close, and it was so bright and so vivid and so instantly, wow, that's definitely a UFO. There's nothing in the U.S. arsenal, blah. To make a long story short, we're driving away about an hour north of Huntsville. And there's a light I noticed. I'm driving. And light is blinking, and it's illuminating the fog around it. Remember the old days when you had the flash cameras and had a series of them in a strip, and they were horribly bright and left white? Then the craft was like this white blue, super white blue. And it's illuminating this fog around it. As we approach closer, it starts to cross the road. It crosses the road. It's the side of the truck. I see it's about at least 15 feet long, 7 feet wide. It is the shape of, I instantly described it this way. You know how London has the giant Ferris wheel and it has the capsules?
Yeah.
It looked like that, those capsules. But it was tilted sideways like this, up, down. And as flying through the woods, it was completely lighting up the woods. It was maybe 50 yards away on the right-hand side. Staggeringly, stunningly, ridiculously close. So close so you could definitely make out the body and really study aspects of the body as it was directly to our right. And craft lit up everything below it, more so than in front or above or anything. Well, I guess not above because it's sky, but like when it went over a valley, the ground would drop away below it. You see it that in the light.
Wow.
And at one point got ahead of the car for a little bit. It was ahead of us for a little while, stayed there maybe two minutes, I guess, and then hard banked to the right. As it did, I could see it come out of the trees, lighting from the center of the trees to like the tree top portions. Banked out of sight because I had to keep driving straight and looking straight forward. The scientist spun around behind us and was saying, it's like 3 miles back now. It's blinking again. It's blinking again. It came back speeding around us again on the other side, came up on the left-hand side here, and it came up on a ridge. Weird sequence. And the scientist took multiple videos, but he was trying to time out the blinks. So he was talking. It was creepy too. It was like 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, he was doing that like he was taking a pulse, but it was up the craft. And we determined that we might have lost about 30 minutes of time.
Wow.
We're not. We think we lost about 30 minutes of time. And it was just a stunning, staggering event, Doc. It was the kind we read about and talk about, and thank goodness there's video of it. And the quality of the video is going to get better. This scientist just flew back home today and promised me to get stills and send me the originals and all that stuff. So
one of our viewers here, Alan, wants to know: were you being observed by this object? Do you think it was observing you?
Well, we observed big time. It was definitely there for us. It circled us. It stayed to us at the truck. It was watching us.
Wow.
Definitely there for us. Very weird. It was very, very, very.
What sort of feeling did you personally get about this object? Do you feel like a neutral feeling? Did you feel somewhat alarmed? I had when I saw that bright blue object over our group with Steve Greer in Wyoming around 2002 on a big skywatch with about 80 people. I just had this feeling of shock. I mean, I didn't even know how to describe what I was seeing. What did you feel?
I didn't. People always talk about having a connection with this, that, and the other, and the scientist was trying to legitimately make a connection. I was just stunned. In the past, when I've done CE5s at the farm and had the protocols for our certain type of events that we expected there, I had a different mindset. This, I was just stunned. At first, I wasn't sure. I was trying to discount it in every possible. Even though from the very beginning, the brightness of it, the color of it, the size of it, the shape of it, what it was doing, the flight characteristics, everything made me know immediately that this is wrong, wrong, wrong. And it's kind of like you said, it's kind of stunned and shocked. And when it was by the side, I never was excited. I was kind of just like trying to take it all in, stunned, amazed, very weird, Doc. Very weird. It seems so real. Sometimes when big things happen in your life, they just seem unreal. They seem fake. They seem scripted. They seem, just weird. Like 9/11 to me still seems so, unreal. It's so incredible, so horrible, And this event was like that too. It was like so unfreaking real. It was so bright. It was right there. I mean,
well, they're here. We know they're here. We don't know who they are, but they're here. And, I just did a video about that. I just uploaded it today on my channel. But I mean, the conclusion was we don't really know what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with something. I don't know if anyone really knows exactly what it is, but it's pretty bright when it comes nearby you. It can be. And
look at the Nuremberg wood carving from whatever it is, 1680. And there's the other one, too, from another city like 10 years later. In another city not too far away. UFOs battling in the sky.
Yeah.
And UFOs battling in the sky, and they're fighting for a reason. You could presume to protect us, and one of the two won in those two battles. And we can't completely judge their motives, but by their actions, we can say many things about them. But that doesn't necessitate what they might do in the future either. So they are here.
Yeah, no, it's getting closer. Whatever it is, we're going to be encountering it more and more. I think we just need to accept this. I mean, now you've had your encounter with your NASA scientist in tow on board. And they didn't seem to know what it was either, did they? NASA scientists? No. So, I mean, you'd think, hey, if they're covering something up, they would have known, but they don't know either. And I think that's what we're dealing with. It's fascinating. By the way, someone asked if I'm near a redshift, and I'm actually using a special red flashlight so I don't lose my night vision. I'm not near a singularity that I know of. But anyway, it's very red. Okay, so.
And we're at a time period where this stuff is happening for a reason, and it seems very unreal. It seems like it's someone else's problem. It seems like all these other things. But if an advanced civilization is trying to warn you, maybe you should listen. These advanced civilization is definitely trying to say stuff to us. And as opposed to shooting at them, we really should communicate. I think we would learn so much more from talking to the watchmakers rather than, smashing a watch or stealing a watch.
Yeah.
You will learn a lot more from the watchmakers. Get that from conversation. We'll only get that from conversation.
We have a long ways to go. I mean, our primitive instincts kick in, and I think we saw this in the show Unidentified, where there was some hostility in one of the episodes. It was assumed. We don't know, and I think it's a mistake to assume any negative intent at all when we don't know what's going on. I mean, the biggest negativity is your own sense of self-doubt and fear, but that's you. That is not from the object or the thing. That's what you need to deal with. It doesn't mean it's emanating from them. It's just when you're facing the unknown. I had a feeling of shock when I saw my object with Greer. I'll never forget that. And you've had it too, and I'm sure people watching this have had something like that. You don't know. It's just you are really facing the unknown in a way you've never been quite prepared for. Anyway.
And what if these advanced civilizations are reflecting back to us ourselves, so that we feel more comfortable? What if, if we come approaching them in a militaristic context, they reply in a militaristic context, just to be what we are, so that they can relate to us? That would be a logical position for an advanced civilization to take, would be mimicry.
Could be. I mean,
we have to be careful of how we position ourselves versus an advanced civilization. I mean, it almost seems ridiculous to have to say that,
Yeah, it's a lot of learning and growing to do here, and we just need to be very careful with it. And I think my point, buddy, is it's just who you believe about this. You just have to be very careful. There are a lot of agendas out there. I'm not saying you even should believe me. And buddy, I know you feel the same way. I just have my point of view on it. You have your point of view, and we don't really know, but we're all going to find out. And now you've had your encounter and you've shared it with us, and that's I am fascinated by it. I'm fascinated.
It is a major encounter. It was a major encounter, and the fact that it comes on the heels of another weird incident. There's a long history of aerospace companies at the highest level showing an interest in psychics, essentially.
Right.
And practitioners, from Ben Rich to NASA to numerous other companies. And at first you're like, why would a aerospace company have any desire to work with psychics or intuitives?
Yeah.
And then when you think that maybe the intuitives are using a field, and that this field might be connected to other things. It could be connected to anti-gravity. It could be connected to other sorts of advanced systems. And if this field exists, then an advanced civilization would know about it. And these aerospace companies want to know all the most advanced technology possible. So it seems very unusual. What is your take on why these aerospace companies are very interested in intuitives?
Well, if we go back to, Pear Labs in Princeton, the initial sponsor of Pear Labs was McDonnell Douglas. They were interested to find out if human psychic powers could interfere with the electronics on their planes in a way that might cause the plane to lose control. So it just came out of a very sort of basic curiosity to make sure that the planes were safe from pilots' emotions.
Do you know the outcome of those tests?
It didn't affect them as far as I know. I could be wrong. I remember Bob John talking about this at one of the SSE conferences, and he said they got a grant from McDonnell Douglas to see if there was any effect at all of human emotion intention on these subtle electronics. So what did they do? we know what they did. They set up random number generators, and the rest is history. They did find that humans affect the random number generators about 2 to 3 bits out of every 10,000. All people had some sort of micro PK ability. And this is how it all started. So they've always had a sort of interest in PK because it could have applications for control of the plane from the human mind without having physical interfaces and so forth. That's one limited view on it, buddy. I don't know the whole interest in it. I mean, we don't really totally know what's going on here, but that has something to do with it.
It seems to represent something real.
Yeah.
A real aspect of physics that we don't know completely yet. Mm-hmm. You know, remote is the same thing. It's not just magic. It's not religious fervor. It's not a God granting us the ability to see. It's not just what the Yoga Sutras say about virtue. There's some physical mechanism that allows remote viewing to work, and that allows affecting true random event generators to work. That's a real mechanism of the universe, and we're somehow able to affect it with our conscious intent.
Right.
It's such a major, stunning.
You were able to demonstrate this to our RV class a couple months ago. When was it? In June, right?
Yeah.
And people have abilities, and it's just something we've never been told about. Sometimes it's a subtle ability, and sometimes, in some cases, it's stronger, as we've talked about. And you were just illustrating to us a few minutes ago with the compass. And again, you posted this video on YouTube. People who haven't seen this should go to the Alien Protocols channel. You can see Buddy affecting a compass without touching it repeatedly in front of a group of NASA scientists. So yeah, this is just part of what's that?
You know, I've done it again and again, and a compass has become my spoon bending. I feel that it's a lot more impressive. It's encased, and you know they're able to check me first and do all the different things and get shielded stuff and all that. But I think it's just another validation that the human consciousness can do so much more than we think, and we need to push these boundaries. And the scientist that I was with, and then another scientist, tried to recreate something I had done that was absolutely goofy. We were in the parking lot, and it had just gotten to be a little dark, and we were talking after the events. Did the light just turn on here?
Yeah, we got you. We can see you now.
So I didn't do anything. I was about to tell you how this floodlight was hitting us, and I said, I wish it would turn off. And it turned off right when I said that. And then someone said, okay, it would be really impressive if you turned it back on. And I said, okay, I'm going to go inside the store here, but in the meantime, I'll turn it on.
For those of you that came late, the reason we're all kind of pushing the extremes of this broadcast is I'm at a remote location in the Northwest somewhere in a Sasquatch search, a Sasquatch telepathic experiment that I'm involved with. And I'm in the dark in the middle of nowhere. There are no lights around here apart from my own and my little camper. And we had to get Buddy on with FaceTime because we couldn't figure out how to add him on to this YouTube streaming, which we will figure out for next time. So anyway.